This is a part of a library of one of our universities. On these shelves are records of men's experiences, expressions of their ideas, and the creations of their imagination. This is what we think of as literature. But we have a companion to the printed word, the motion picture. Just as a book can bring to the imaginative reader a broadening of his own limited experience, so can a film. The reader becomes a student of literature to increase his enjoyment from these books. The viewer can also increase his enjoyment of films by studying some of the artistic effort that goes into the creation of a motion picture. I'd like to show you some of the factors that a thoughtful viewer considers in evaluating a film.
A motion picture can take us to any spot in the world. To unusual and unfamiliar places like this jungle in Asia. It can introduce us to interesting people we have never known. If we use our imagination, we can share in new, exciting experiences brought to us by film. Merely recording an actual event like the building of this railroad cannot be considered an expression of an experience. To fulfill this expression, a motion picture requires a creative effort. The filmmaker must first select events, second, develop character, and third, reveal human conduct. But this creative process is complicated and difficult. When an author writes a book, he usually works alone, using his own feelings and his own background of experiences to form his thoughts into words and put them on paper. But the production of a motion picture depends upon hundreds of people applying many different crafts. The filmmaker can accomplish this creation in a studio set, or travel to any place in the world to film his story. To him, the whole world is truly a stage. The bridge on the River Kwai was filmed against the background of an Asian jungle. This was an area which reflected the mood of the country in which the story took place. Here the director was able to select the proper background for each scene, reflecting a true and believable environment for his story. But tropical rains were as much a part of this environment as the jungle trees. Filming during these rains was impractical. All work stopped, and everyone found shelter from the downpour. To film scenes with rain effectively, the director had to produce his own rain. This way he could place his tropical storm wherever he needed it, whenever he wanted it. But no matter where the filmmaker goes or what he does, he is still faced with three outstanding problems in creating a motion picture. The first major problem is the selection of certain important events which will bring out whatever is needed to communicate the story. Events must be properly selected and enacted, and put into pictures and sounds in such a way that the audience will accept them as being truthful. These events will seem truthful to the viewer, not because he has been a member of a prisoner of war camp, but because he recognizes the situation, the characters, and their actions as being true to life as he knows it. The viewer must project himself into this crowd of celebrating prisoners and ask himself if this is really how people react in such a situation. In developing a truthful situation, the filmmaker is faced with the problems of interpretation. The director and the actors are concerned with the interpretation of characters and their actions. This interpretation begins with the written words of the script. The director and the actors then work together to transform these written words into actions and sounds. Here the director, David Lean, who directed Great Expectations and Summertime, works with Alec Guinness on the portrayal of Colonel Nicholson in The Bridge on the River Kwai. The second major problem in the production of a motion picture is the development of character. Just as everything else in the film starts with the script, so do the characterizations. Here the director and the actor are concerned with some of the qualities of one of the film's important portrayals. For many people, the building of a believable character is the most important single item of a motion picture. To see what goes into the building of a character, let's take a sequence from the film which was important to this characterization. In portraying any character, you are always concerned with how he would react in certain situations.
How would you feel about going back?
Come again.
I know, under the circumstances, it's a bit much, but you see, you do have a unique knowledge for our purpose, and we'd love to have you with us.
You mean to tell me that that's why you brought me here? To ask me this?
Well, frankly, yes.
Major, I just got out of there. My escape was a miracle. Even your people said so, and now you want me to go back? Don't be ridiculous.
Oh, this is very embarrassing.
Oh, let's stop kidding around. I can't go back. I don't belong to you. I belong to the American Navy.
Yes, of course. Actually, Colonel Green has already taken the matter up with your people.
With my people?
Yes, your navies turned you over to us.
Another important part of any portrayal is understanding the motives of a character. Understanding why he acts as he does, and then using this knowledge to help build the character.
Break it to them.
No, but they can't do this to me. I really mean it. My Navy's made a mistake.
Oh?
Look, I'm not a Navy commander. I'm not even an officer.
Oh.
No, the whole thing's a fake. I'm just an ordinary swab jockey, second class.
Oh.
When the Houston sunk, I made it ashore with an officer, a real commander. Later on, we ran into a Japanese patrol and he was killed. I figured it was just a matter of time before I was captured, so...
So you changed uniforms with the dead man?
I thought officers would get better treatment in prison camps.
Well, that's very sensible.
Not that it did me any good, because at Saito's camp, the officers worked along with the rest.
This process of building a believable personality is based on an understanding of the character's motives and his reactions to situations. A character comes to life on the screen as a real person when the director and the actor work together to show not only the character's actions, but to reveal why he acts as he does.
Well, that's quite a clever plan.
When my Navy finds out who I am, those temporary orders you've got won't be worth the paper they're written on.
This is your photograph, isn't it?
Where'd you get this?
Well, it took a bit of doing, because naturally your people couldn't identify you at first. But finally, your CNC Pacific sent us a copy of your service record. Photograph, fingerprints, everything. Would you care to have a look?
Oh.
You see, we've known about your actual rank for nearly a week.
Well, as long as I'm hooked, I might as well volunteer.
Good show.
Here the director and the actor are having difficulty in putting the written words of a certain scene into actions and sounds which can be understood and will convey a sense of truth to the viewer. In this scene, Alec Guinness must be knocked down in front of the camera in a position which will show the audience he has been hit in the head by shell fragments. This will then explain the following action in which he staggers and falls. This rehearsal was not acceptable, And so they do it again. This process of selection and rejection is something that goes on from the beginning to the end during the creation of a motion picture. The filmmaker must select actions and sounds the same way an author selects words in writing a book. And so the scene is done over again. In revising this scene, certain actions, such as rising in front of the camera, are slowed down to emphasize the head wounds. The movement in reaching for his hat shows he has been dazed. The sudden attack before staggering is pointed up. And the stagger itself is simplified. We have shown you the first two major problems of film creation: the truthfulness of events and the building of believable characters. After choosing the events and building characters, the director is confronted with the third problem of film creation: the portrayal of human conduct and behavior. If the conduct of the characters truly reflects human experience, it can help the sensitive viewer understand life. Why is the colonel trying to keep the commando from blowing up the bridge? Why doesn't the commando use his knife to free himself? Such questions can be answered only by the conduct and behavior of these two characters throughout the film. Basically, a motion picture is a means of communication. And like every means of communication, it needs a basic form to be effective. The scenes you have just watched do not tell the complete story. These individual scenes become effective only when they are combined into an express...
Let me go, sir! You don't understand, sir!
We have seen some of the types of artistic effort which go into the creation of a motion picture. One of the ways we as viewers can evaluate a film is to apply these same standards to what we see on the screen. We can ask ourselves, are the characters believable? Is the conduct of the characters sincere? Are the events truthful? Finally, then, in asking ourselves, is a film successful? We are asking, has the film created in me these questions are the basis for our study of a film.